At the outset here, I'd like to ask for leave to read a sentence from the witness's interview summary. I won't do that right away, but I figured I'd ask now so as not to disrupt whatever flow I can muster.
Yeah, I think that would be fine. It's been entered in evidence, so
All right.
if she needs it, it can be brought up.
Sure. Good afternoon, Acting Deputy Chief. I'm Rob Kittredge, counsel for the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms.
Good afternoon.
As I understand your testimony earlier, there were only two ways in which the invocation of the Emergencies Act was of use to police in ending the freedom movement protests. One, it bypassed the requirement to swear in officers from other jurisdictions, which saved a bit of time. And two, it helped to procure the services of heavy rig tow truck operators. Is that fair characterization of your testimony?
Of my testimony, yes. I do
Yes.
believe, though, the seizing of assets was also helpful.
Can you expand on that?
So the threat of seizing assets of
Oh, right.
bank accounts and rigs and things like that.
Okay. Useful, but not necessary.
Yeah, useful but not necessary.
How much time did not having to swear in officers from other jurisdictions actually save?
I don't know.
Could you give, would it be on the order of hours or days or?
Probably hours. And I don't know how many of them we had already done at that point in time, but a number of hours administrative, probably, people being involved in that and filing paperwork. And
Right, so it sidestepped some paperwork and headaches and a few hours.
Yeah.
All right. I'm interested in what steps were taken by police to obtain towing services prior to the invocation of the Emergencies Act. Can you describe the efforts made by the city and police to procure towing services before that date?
I don't have all the details of that. I think probably Inspector Lucas would be able to assist in that, potentially Superintendent Bernier. The information that I had at the early stages, we didn't think the tow trucks were going to be an issue until we looked to try and procure some. And we have contracts, obviously, with some companies in town. And when push came to shove, they refused to engage. And so at that point in time, I don't know at what stage we were in the convoy, if this was after the weekend or leading up to the weekend. And so when we looked at what our options were for heavy tow, I do recall a number of conversations about that, and that we believed OC Transport might have had a couple of heavy tow trucks that we could potentially use, but I think that was it.
Right. Despite the fact that your answers may be that you weren't aware of the details, I'm going to walk you through a series of carefully crafted questions here that I don't want to throw away. How many towing service providers did the police contact?
I don't know.
We've heard that some towing services were concerned about driver safety. Did you offer to ensure that police would accompany towing operators to ensure their safety?
I don't know what offers were made.
All right. We've heard that some towing services were concerned about damage to their vehicles. Did you offer to compensate them for damage to their vehicles?
I don't know what offers
All
were made.
right. Isn't it true that pursuant to it occurs to me that I'm probably torturing the sign language interpreters, so I'll slow down. Isn't it true that pursuant to the Highway Traffic Act, police officers do not require a license to operate any motor vehicle in the performance of their duties?
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure.
I'll put it to you that it is true.
Okay.
So in other words, if you're not going to be able to answer this, but I'll put it to you that if police officers were able...
If you could try and focus on questions she can answer. I mean, I appreciate you've prepared them, but,
Sure.
All right. I'm not sure it's helpful to the commission.
All right. So I guess I'll skip right to the end here and say you stated earlier that you did have tow trucks lined up and that they were on their way to Ottawa prior to the invocation of the Emergencies Act. Isn't that true?
Yes.
And your interview summary says that OPS knew that if it arrived with tow trucks, many protesters would leave because the trucks were their home and livelihood. Do you stand by that statement?
I do.
All right. Those are my questions. Thank you.